Oh, good morning, folks. I tried to do a little bit of a painting this morning, as promised in the video feed last night. And this is the Hungarian Knight that we got to do. Look on the command stand. All right, and let's see if we can get this somewhere reasonable. All right, so we left off with a horse and so forth. Okay, feather-wise, so he's going to need a feather and some reins and a lance. This is kind of a strange shaped lance, and that it's unusual. I don't know that I've seen many with that type of shape. Now, I'm tempted to do it like, give it some rings on it, but I don't want it to be too prominent and take away from the commander. It's going to be on the same stand. So you might need to dumb that down a little bit so that we don't encroach on his on the commander's fanciness. All right. While this is drying, let's go ahead and give this guy some Nuln oil. Let's give this guy some Nuln oil, and then we can paint something else while this dries up a little bit. And this is just to add some extra depth. This is not really necessary. I painted for many years doing armored figures without Nuln oil. I saw someone do this a while ago, and I like how it turned out. It added some extra depth to the figure. And then we'll come back and we'll end up going over this figure in the same color we painted originally, just to bring in some highlights. So this just adds a little bit of a depth to it. Not sure if it makes a huge difference, but it doesn't take very long to do that. All right, we're done with him on that. Yeah, we'll get to this other guy when we get a chance to. Okay. You guys watched any of my videos, you know I don't like to jump around. I like to stay on the one figure if I can. That way at the end of a session I have something to show for it. It's a system that works better for me. I know it's not for everybody, but oh, you know what? I did want to put some Nuln oil on this, up here on the neck of this horse, and pop that up a little bit more. Let's do that. Unscripted, folks. Unscripted painting. Let's just do that there. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and Let's do some there as well. This is very subtle. You may not even notice it by the time I'm done, but I'm here, I'm at this stage, I'm thinking about it. Let's do it, you know? You can already tell it has already darkened the figure some. And it's kind of given it a little bit more of a flat appearance. So I have a feeling if I ever get to move forward on my 16th century project with the writers and those type of guys that towards the end of the 1500s ended up using blackened armor, I would probably use this method quite a bit. I might experiment with mixing this Nuln Oil with a little bit more black and darkening it even more. This is just me brainstorming. It may not work, but you know, that's a thought. For writers and those type of folks. Nuln Oil with a little bit of black. A little bit goes a long way, so have to give that a shot. Sounds interesting. And then obviously you still have to do the highlighting and stuff. You can't just leave it like that. It's not going to pop enough for my taste. So, all right. So while that continues to dry, we got a saddle that we need to do. Let's look at the, let's do a dark red saddle for this guy. Put a little bit of burnt cadmium red. Some colors flow a lot better than others. Burnt cadmium red is one of those that flows better than others. I don't know what, but this thing's a pleasure to paint with. Maybe the color, it may be this particular batch, but it goes on really smooth. It behaves a lot like a coat the arms color, which you guys may know I'm a big fan of. Unfortunately, there's no one local to get a hold of any of those. I'm just not predisposed to want to order paints through the mail, sight unseen, unless it's a refill. You know, getting a color I already know that I like, that I already use. So. That's how I ended up getting some of those army painter figures. I want army painter paints. Ended up going to a convention, and someone had a big display of them, and they have some nice looking colors, but I bought a few. I don't really like them. Doesn't mean I won't use them. They're just not my first choice. They don't apply like this paint or they coat the arms. And even within the Viejo paints, there's some that are really good and some that are not so good. But they all have their purpose. Some just take a little bit more TLC to get them on there working right. Now, I'm not sure who this guy is representing. This guy's probably pretty high up on the food chain if he's accompanying the leader of the army on the same stand. So we're going to have to fancy this guy up a little bit more than we would a regular knight, so that becomes apparent. Well, let's just go straight to the color itself. Just a little bit of highlight on here. Just a little bit. We don't want to change this into like a pink color. Just a little bit there for highlighting purposes. All right. That should be good enough for the saddle. Now, we talked that we were going to make this guy kind of fancy. We're going to go ahead and do that now. We got Metallic's corner here. So we're going to add one of my favorite colors to use here, which is just Viejo bronze. I'm not a big fan of the Viejo metallics. They're not horrible, but they're not my favorite. I prefer the Games Workshop ones. But this color is all right. I've used it a lot. Little sip of motivational beverage. And let's add some details on here in bronze. It's not gold, it's just bronze, just a little bit. We don't want to go crazy because we don't want to overshadow the main guy that's standing next to him, writing next to him on the stand. That's one thing you got to be careful with. You don't want to. The leader should be the fanciest guy on the stand, in my opinion. You guys can do it however the hell you want, but that's my principal process on that. He should be the fanciest guy on the stand. A little bit on the front there of that horse. I think we're going to leave the armored figure as is. I don't think we're going to add any bronze to that. We need to go easy and hold ourselves back a little bit, because if we don't do that, then we end up with a guy that is just too let's just say he's going to steal the leader's thunder. So okay. Now we have a different kind of chain there on that horse. I don't know if you can see that, but there's almost like chain mail on the horse's neck. So we're going to make that a different type of color than just the standard metallic, just to get it to pop a little bit. Don't need to go too bright, but hell, it may not even make a difference, but it's there. Now, I'm going to share with you guys one of the most disappointing colors I've ever bought. And I try to find uses for it sometimes, and I'm unsuccessful most of it, because it's just such a strange color. And this is a Viejo Gunmetal, and it has so much blue in it. It's very metallic blue. So we're going to try to use a little bit of that and put it in that area and make that metallic look a little bit different. Yeah, it is so blue. It almost looks like the color of a car from like 1983. Yes, right here. And it's difficult to work with. James Shevlin, good morning. You've just seen your Based Up Watches Knights yesterday's video. They look incredible. Oh, and belated Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to you too as well. Yeah, didn't have a whole lot of people online. I thought there would have been more with the... Oh, that's right, the time zone out there doesn't help. By the time I got on, it was like midnight. I don't blame you guys not being up at that time. I'm worthless at that time. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I don't want to put this on directly. So we're going to get our airbrush thinner. We're going to come over here. This is the same color that is the base metallic on the area already. I'm going to come in here and grab the tiniest little bit. Now, I want to warn you, what I'm doing, I may not like how it turns out. So yeah, we're just adding a tiny little bit of color here. And I'm going to come in here and we're going to paint over that area. And it's not even noticeable. Right, so let's add a little bit more. We just don't want to go too far. We'll be up that creek. Okay, just a tiny little bit of difference of color there. Okay, and we're still probably going to go back over it with the original, but we just wanted to make it a little different. Just subtle. Just a little something, just a little something, something. Okay. All right. Well, that's all we're going to do there on that endeavor. You guys are still in a heavy lockdown out there in Europe, aren't you? Is that just Europe, or I don't know if Australia that's happening as well out there. Fortunately, that's not the case here, but just to give you an idea, I was here all week, and what did I do? I went to work and I came home. Every day, I did nothing else other than the day we gamed on Mitch's. I went over there. That's it. I go home, I go to work. I really don't go anywhere else, so I could, but I don't. So I just wish I just wish I could work from home just one day. Just one day, let me work from home and wear whatever the hell I want to. Not that I have to wear a uniform or anything, but I know some of you guys are dying to get out of the house, and I like my house. So I don't mind being here. Let's clean this up some with this same color. It's gonna go over lightly. Well, we can even go over that area we painted with a little, very lightly. You still want kind of that blue undertone underneath there. I think I did that with my Koreans too, and I was happy with how it turned out. My Koreans, the forgotten army. I haven't played with them in a long time. They're a 2.2 army that just didn't make it. They changed dramatically from 2.2 to 3.0. And they're made with figures that are no longer made. The sculptor passed away. A sculptor by the name of Alain Tuller. I think I'm saying that right. This is a guy that lived in the south of France. He cast his own figures. And at a show, one of the vendors happened to have a DBA army of them. And I picked them up. Beautiful figures, even though their metal that's used on them is it's bendy. So, but to make them 3.0 compatible, that army was changed significantly. And those figures are no longer made, so I'd have to supplement them with Kurosan or something like that, and I just haven't gone that route. But that's the first Asian army I had. My Koguryo Koreans. You're one of the most consistent painters out there. Really? Not during this holiday season. Man, it's early where you're at. Oh, you're on Central. That's not too bad. You prefer a flexible schedule, work a few at the office and a few at home. Yeah, I don't get to work at the office. I mean, I don't get to work at home. I work at a manufacturing site, so it's hard to check loads and things like that from home. That's all right. I only have to do this another couple decades, and then I'll be good. I round it up. Hopefully. Hopefully I round it up. I'm one of those people that's got plenty to do if I wasn't working. I don't even have to buy any more stuff. I'm good. Okay, so that's about it for the horse. Let's come in and clean up the figure. Yeah, for a second there, I thought it was a lot earlier, but no, that's like 5 a.m. for me. So yeah, that's the time you should be getting up. It's the time I get up for work, and just a lot easier just to get up at the same time of day, the same time every day, even if you work or not. That way you don't dread Mondays as much. Been doing that for many, many years now. I used to get up at 4 a.m. That was a little extreme. And then paint for 2 hours. Locked down to the UK, not a problem at the moment, as it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit here. That's cold. You know, believe it or not, it gets into that temperature here. At least, I'd say pretty consistently, at least a week's worth every year at night. It goes down into the 26. The problem is sometimes it'll burn off, or, you know, there's no chance of precipitation really. So, you know, we don't get snow or anything like that. So, I don't mind that. I don't mind 26. I don't mind 26 as long as it's not dry 26. Dry 20. Dryness just kills me. I can't deal with it. Yeah, 26 isn't bad. I think the coldest it's ever gotten here while I've been here in Florida is maybe, it's gotten down to 18, because when we went to Colorado a couple of years ago and it was 18 degrees, I commented that it wasn't that cold because it's a dry 18. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to get caught out, you know, naked, you know, but it wasn't that bad. I think it's probably dropped to maybe 16 or something like that one year. But it was just for like a day. I don't know. I love the winter here. You have no bugs. Yeah, just glad to be outside when it's wintertime. Summertime's okay being outside too, as long as you're wet. You're at the pool or the beach or something like that. But just sitting and roasting, we have no breeze here, so that's not my idea of a good time. Lots of locals still don't like the winter that we have, which is honestly pretty tame. Worst thing about the winter, to be honest with you, is people running the heater everywhere. You can't go somewhere with the heater, and you know, the heater should be illegal in Florida. And I say that tongue in cheek because I'm never looking for more restrictions on what people can do. No one should have the good sense to put on the heater. There we go. Yeah, what is this? Like day 300 of a 15-day shutdown or something like that? Whatever. This is the new normal, folks. We're going to be, I suspect we're going to be doing this for, I'm not going to say forever, but a long time. I got no aspirations that we'll have, there'll be another convention that I'll go to. But that's okay. You guys don't know me from conventions anyways. The show will go on. Getting a lot more painted. A lot more done doing it this method than trying to build up finishing something for a show. So if there's no more shows, or I don't feel like going any more shows, we're still good. We'll still be doing this. It's not like I'm going to give up painting or anything. Unless I start getting the jitters or something like that. But my hopes are not, I'm not holding on to my hopes based on a convention happening or not. Well, hopefully you guys are able to get your gaming fix in other ways as well. All right. So he's got about done. We need to put a sheath on him. Let's do something different. Let's do dark blue. What? You know how much it would cost to stain dark blue leather? Yep. Oh, I told you this guy's high society, man. He's got money. He's living off the backs of his peasants. He's got the money for it. That is just, this is a color that just never mixed well. I don't even know which one it is anymore because it's already, the Viejo writes their stuff here and it's kind of gone away. But this color, this is really strange. Like, look at this. This is unusual. Look at this beautiful. It's like almost like a French blue, right? Mid-range French blue. But then, I don't know if you could tell, it's very gray. And it's not only gray, it's kind of watery. And it's kind of lumpy. Well, let's see if I can work with that. I talked myself out of it. I talked myself out of it and back into it. Let's see what we can do with this thing. It's behaving like an orange. Oranges behave strange like that. Jeez, man, time flies. We might be able to work with this. We'll see. So what's your shutdown over there consist of? You literally can't leave the house, or there's nothing worth leaving the house for because everything's closed? Can you go get groceries and that's it? Or can you get restaurants and there's takeout? Or the restaurants are shut down completely? What kind of shutdown are you guys talking about? Because there is a shutdown here, but none of that really happened. I mean, there's some businesses that didn't open, but they found a way to, you got to pay the bills. So either they offered delivery services or stuff like that. What's the shutdown like at across the pond? I mean, you can't shut things down, man. You people got to make a living. I mean, sure, you could be like, okay, well, people can't come in the store or one at a time or something, but man, people got to pay the bills. Unless the government's just going to pay everybody to stay home and paint hobbies, that's fine. But I require my current salary, so I don't think the government's going to be able to do that. But not even I'm even willing to take a 15% pay cut, maybe even 20. But yeah, I'll stay home and paint all day. I'd love to. I would love to. I got plenty to do. Paint the little hilt. Not sure if that used that right. I need to get I need to educate myself. So when I talk about these sword parts, I use them correctly. I know what they are. I just don't use them enough to remember all that stuff in me. We're going to put reins on this guy. This guy's got like a reins cover. We're going to use red for that. It's kind of a red dominant army color. Okay, all but essential shops closed. Illegal to leave your home except for local exercise work. If you can't work from home, it's illegal to leave your home except for local exercise for work. If you can't work from home or essential shopping, suggested once a week. Yeah, I'm not moving over there anytime soon. Oh, okay. You guys didn't leave yourself a whole lot of room for having to shut down even tighter, huh? But I guess they could have done that here and it wouldn't have affected what I'm doing every day. Oh, we'd have to do speakeasy game nights. I'd have to, hide like we did how they did in the 20s in speakeasies. Yeah, I'm not giving up my game nights. Sorry, government. If I have to go to work every day, then I get my game night once a week. It's not like we're there with 12 people. So, because this is going to last. The way it's going, it's going to last for, well, I don't know when it's going to end. I'm not going to make any, I don't know that there's a solution. So I think it's not going to be until people are fed up with it and don't listen. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing here. I honestly forget it's going on. I don't go anywhere because I'm tired after work. You know, I fortunately I don't work in a place that has any restrictions. I already work in a construction type manufacturing facility, so we got to wear PPE anyway. So I'm not looking for any more PPE to wear, and I'm not really working on top of people, so really don't have any restrictions, fortunately. So I honestly forget that there's this going on till I have to go somewhere like the grocery store or something like that. But sometimes we use those delivery services, just deliver your groceries, and they deliver them wrong and don't buy the stuff that's on sale. I don't mind going grocery shopping, but it hasn't really affected me that much other than not going to game conventions, affecting how you take vacations because no cruising or anything like that. And yeah, we were on a good roll there for going on a cruise every year. That's done. Probably won't go on a cruise again because they either won't survive or they're going to put restrictions that we just don't want to deal with. So that's fine. We don't have to go on them. Yeah, I forget this thing's going on. I'm certainly not panicked about it. So those of you that are panicked, you guys are in for a long ride. Be interesting to see if there's ever a an analysis done on how the hobby industry did in 2020. I have a feeling that it did a lot better than had this pandemic not happened because of people buying extra stuff. I mean, I really didn't buy any extra stuff. I got stuff to, other than a few paint colors, I'm good for the long haul. I paint so damn slow, it's hard to outpaint what I have. All right. What else? What else? What else on here? Feather. Feather color. All right. I was initially thinking white. I think that's what I'm going to do. My white feathered friend. Now, this white started separating. See if we can salvage it. Yeah, let's go over to this side. So we're not going to stop doing these videos anytime soon, or the gameplay videos, till they stop being fun to do, and I don't think that's going to be the case until they start charging me to make the videos, and then that's a no-go. No, no. All right, now this has been the most helpful thing I could have come up with to get painting accomplished. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been painted this morning. So, okay. We'll start lighting this up a little bit. Let's put some fresh white down here. It's not contaminated with any red or anything. It should be enough. Let's not go crazy. I put too much last night and it ended up separating, and I didn't remix it. Whatever, I got distracted with conversations and so forth, so no big deal. Any way you cut it, we end up wasting more paint than we ever use, so how are we doing on time? 5 more minutes and I gotta go wake the daughter. And then we'll come back for another 15, and then we'll probably call it a day. I gotta go take her to swim practice. It's, what is it? It's like 37 degrees or something like that. And just gonna go jump in the pool. Year-round swim. Let's see what kind of weather we got here while I'm thinking about it. Normally I would check it on my phone, but that's not really that's a no-go right now. Let's see, what do we got here? Weather. 43 degrees with a high of 55. Well, it's not gonna, that's very unusual that things aren't gonna change that much. Yeah. 43 degrees. Way too cold for me getting in the pool, but she doesn't seem to mind. We live in a place where there's natural springs, and I think the temperature is a steady 68 degrees or something like that year round. I don't get in there. That's way too cold water. I like cold weather, but not if I'm wet. So I've actually never been. I've lived here since 1981. I've never been to those springs. That's way too freaking cold. Never been to Itchituckney. Been to one of the other ones. Itchituckney is one where supposedly you put down in one place in inner tubes, and it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour ride downstream, and they pick you up at the other end. I've never done that. It's just too cold for me. It's not worth it. That's not how I want to be tortured in my free time. putting off doing this guy's lance because I'm really not sure what I want to do there. I'm really not sure what I want to do. I don't want it to be drab, but I don't want it to out fancy the main guy. So it's quite possible that we may have to do everything on this guy except that. Come back and do that a little later. Okay. Well, I said I was going to highlight it with the other metal, and I never did. Iron breaker. Let's go down here to metallics corner. You know what? We're going to rinse this. We're going to go wake her up. And then we'll come back for another 15 minutes. I'll be right back, folks. I don't want to get started in the middle of this metal and have to cut off. Okay. The final 15-minute countdown. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get another chance to paint later today. We'll try, but we got to get a lot of stuff done. We got to take Christmas down. That takes a little bit of time. Luckily, it's a cold day. Usually, it's in the 80s or something like that, but not a whole lot of things to put away, but I'll take that down. Although it seems like this year people left their things up longer than normal, which was nice. Nice to have that. I think people were looking for another distraction as well to forget about the nonsense of everyday life. Okay. Like I mentioned in the video yesterday, we got a game night that's coming up. Next 2 Mondays are no-goes. They're going to be on Tuesday. So I don't think we're going to have any DVA stuff or standard DBA 3.0. I don't think we're going to be doing any of that the next two game sessions. We're going to do something else. So it's supposedly Napoleonics on Tuesday, DBN. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. If not, we'll do something different on Tuesday, but that's the plan. Mitch is traveling this next one, and I think he's going to Land of the Mouse on the following Monday. A place I haven't been to in about a year, probably. I'm not dealing with a theme park and restrictions they might want me to do. And not everything's open at them anyways. So Tuesday, the next two game days. So this is all the stuff that I'm doing right now that I wouldn't be doing if I was painting multiple figures at a time. I'd be skipping this step, but because I'm painting one figure at a time, I don't mind giving this guy extra attention to detail. Yeah, I don't do well painting multiple figures. I end up forgetting things to do. It ends up being, a chore for me. So, hey, if that's what works for you, you go with that. So, okay. We got any bright ideas on the lance yet? No, I think I'm going to skip it. I think I'm going to skip the lance. Which means we're going to skip the socks too on this horse, if it has any. Oh, but we've got the things you put your feet in. Whatever those things are called. That's what we're going to paint. Stirrups. Need my vocabulary words over here. It's just words I don't use. I don't use these words. I know what they are, but I don't use them on a daily basis. Well, that's the wrong color. I don't talk about stirrups on a daily basis. I haven't ridden a horse in 2 years, so that was another thing we got in the habit of doing every year. Go horseback riding once a year. That's kind of fun. That's a fun thing to do until you fall off, which, knock on wood's never happened. But then we don't try to do crazy stuff, so. Get on a horse, I try to keep him motivated positively. Last time we did it was it 2019? I guess it must have been 2019. In North Carolina, in the mountains of North Carolina. So that was pretty nice. Always nice to do that when it's cold. Or, you know, temperatures like today here. Need to do a video here. Maybe I'll get motivated and do it today. Need to do a video on what I got over the holidays. Nothing big, but you know, it's an opportunity to do another video, share what I got. Nothing huge. I picked up some reference type books and haven't even looked at them. I'm actually quite surprised. I've been too busy really to look at them, but stuff that will be useful in the future for sure. So, DBA related. I put off ordering them and finally said, F it. Maybe I'll do that later on today. Not for bragging purposes. I got all the stuff I need, fortunately. Just, people like to look at those things. I like doing them. I like watching unboxings. I find they're very relaxing. I have a couple of people that I follow that do unboxings frequently, and they don't have the most exciting voices, but they're very calming. I should do that. I should do that. I got about an hour and a half or something to kill waiting on the daughter at her practice. Maybe I'll watch a couple of those. A couple of guys I haven't seen in a long time. You guys ever watch anybody on YouTube or follow something like that, and they've got a very relaxing voice? I'm not talking about myself. I just mean, you know, other people. There's a couple people that I watch that they're very nice to listen to. And no, they're not female. They just, you know, it's nice to have in the background while you're painting, you're doing your other hobby stuff. So I know one guy that I follow, he does all these game unboxings, and I don't know how the hell he has that many games. I'd be depressed if I had that many games. I wasn't doing anything with them. I'm not much of a hoarder, but he has a lot, and yeah, unboxings are nice to see what's included in the box and how it's included in there, how it's packaged. Both of these guys, I don't know if they'd be any fun to play games with, but they're nice to listen to. The opposite of me, right? I'm not fun to listen to, but I'm telling you, I'm fun to play games with, in case you guys haven't noticed. I have a good time. I'm there to have a good time. We have a really good game group. We're very fortunate. Very fortunate. Okay, so that's about done. Have we made a decision on this lance yet? Well, if I did red, it would be way too prominent. I don't want to do buff. A lot of other guys have buff. Let's go with white. Let's do a white. Let's start with that and see where it takes us. I don't plan all this stuff out. It just kind of happens. Okay. It's kind of the opposite of last night. Last night I had quite a few watchers and only one thumbs up. This time I've got 2 watchers and 3 thumbs up. Now, some people just woke up and said, "Hey man, good job," and went back to sleep. I'm not hanging out with you guys at this early. Nah, it's noon for just about everybody. Most of my watchers are over there in the old country, in the old countries. So just noon or shy of noon, as I like to call it, 4th breakfast. I've already had 1, so I'm definitely due for 2 breakfasts. That's what that sound is. I kept hearing this vibrating sound, and I think it's my table's a little too close to the back wall. Let's see if that fixes it. Well, hopefully in 2021, they fix something that's been an issue, and that is for me to be able to live stream in 1080p. Because right now, I'm limited by whatever this is. I think this is at 720 because I'm on mobile. So hopefully mobile can get 1080. I think 1080 is pretty much essential for be able to get some of the detail of some of the stuff that we're doing. It doesn't need to be more detail than that. I mean, it doesn't need to be 4K or anything like that. But it'd be nice to not have 720, do a little bit better than that. But as of right now, on a mobile platform, everything is maxed out at 720. So that's why, unless we're doing some kind of a big game or something like that, I don't want to film the games live because you guys are going to lose the detail. It's going to be maxed out at 720p. So but if it's not this year, I'm sure it'll be 1 year. All right. So we got time for another color up here. Brightness up some. And I may not like how this turns out. So I'm willing to rethink this. It's the advantage of painting very, very thin. I can repaint things if I have to, and you can't see brush strokes or what have you. Let's bring this up a little bit. So hopefully we won't have another drying up of hobby supplies this year. It was really difficult to get craft paint over the summer. I think we're okay on it now. That's just, if I'm doing a lot of terrain, that's what it's going to consume that up. Okay, well, ding dong, 7 o'clock. So here's what we're gone. Here's how far we've gone so far on this guy. And we'll finish up the lands. Maybe we'll do something creative with them. Let's give him a white feather for this guy. But yeah, this is the first of the 3 knights here on the command stand. So that is the next unit we're doing, and that pretty much completes this paint session. Glad to have you guys along with me, and you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We'll do the long paint session on Sunday morning when everybody's asleep, and they're asleep for another 2 hours. So that's always at least 3 hours or so of a paint session. So we'll see you guys in the morning if we don't go back on this afternoon. But anyways, happy painting, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Catch you guys in the morning. Bye-bye.